All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty deep today.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, well, it's a concept.
Yeah.
It's the idea of like a fifth level of mastery.
Right.
In Kung Fu and Tai Chi,
Okay.
we've got these sources, and they're describing it as this, I don't know, this almost mythical state
Right.
where you're moving from like small circle to no circle. Have you heard that
Well, you
before?
have, yeah.
Achieving these movements that are like so subtle, they're like barely perceptible.
Yeah.
It's like the mystery's in the sky, one of them says.
Yeah, not exactly a clear roadmap.
No,
No.
no.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to unpack that today.
Okay, sounds good.
We've also got a message from a listener talking about their own journey with all this. So we're going to get to that a bit later. But first, I want to dive into some of the descriptions we see in this first source. Phrases like, okay, movements are smooth, internal strength is sufficient. And then there's this striving for the body to be ethereal.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out to you in those?
Well, I think right away you're hitting on this idea of like a sort of effortless action, right?
Mhm.
It makes me think of Wu Wei, which is it's a Taoist principle,
Okay.
but it's not like effortless in the sense of, lazy, passive.
Right.
It's about achieving this level of mastery where your actions flow naturally from like a deep internal connection.
Right.
Imagine like a master calligrapher. They have years of practice honing their skill to the point where every brushstroke appears effortless, yet imbued with incredible precision and power.
I see.
That's kind of what we're talking about here.
So it's not just about how fast or strong like you can move, but like the quality of the movement itself.
Right.
Like you are so in tune with like your body and your energy that it almost seems like you're not even trying.
Exactly. And that's where this idea of, we talked about small circle to no circle, that comes in, right? So in Kung Fu, you start with these big, obvious movements.
Mm-hmm.
And as you progress, the circles, they become smaller, more refined. And at this, fifth level, it's like the circle disappears completely.
Oh, wow.
Because the movement is so subtle, so internalized, it's almost invisible to somebody just watching.
Whoa, that's like a mind-blowing concept.
Yeah.
To think about like being that good at something.
Right. It's really a high level.
Yeah. Now, the source also talks about hardness and softness balance, the body full of Tai Chi. And it even says that you can strike wherever it touches. Like every part of your body becomes like a weapon.
Wow.
What's that? Can you unpack that a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. This gets to like the heart of, the philosophy of Tai Chi,
Okay.
which is the balance of yin and yang. So like think of that classic symbol, the two swirling forces, one
Mhm.
black, one white, each containing a seed of the other, right? It's not about being purely hard or purely soft, but finding that perfect balance.
So it's about knowing when to be like strong and unyielding,
Mm-hmm.
but also when to be flexible and adaptable.
Exactly. Yeah. So like in martial arts, that might mean meeting an attack with force, or it might mean redirecting it, using your opponent's own energy against them.
Right.
And the source talks about, every part is like a hand. What that means is like your entire body becomes sensitive, responsive,
Wow.
capable of reacting instinctively. Like, you have eyes in the back of your head,
Yeah. Yeah. That's well, it all sounds incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit, well, mystical, I guess.
Right.
But then we get to the second source.
Oh, okay.
And this kind of brings things back down to earth a little bit.
Okay.
It points out that reaching this level takes, years of dedicated practice, which, aligns with what we know about skill development in general, right? Like anything you want to be good at.
Right. Yeah, that's a crucial point, I think. While the source uses all this beautiful imagery, what's remarkable to me is that modern science is starting to validate these ancient ideas.
Oh, interesting.
Our understanding of like biomechanics,
Mm-hmm.
neuroscience, motor control,
Right.
all of these can help us to like deconstruct these skills, understand how they develop over time.
So it's not just, ancient wisdom passed down through generations, but something that we can like actually study
Yeah.
and understand.
Exactly, through a scientific lens.
Huh. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and this applies to you too, on your journey.
Yeah.
Whether you're practicing martial arts, learning a new language, whatever it is, those principles of consistent effort, deliberate practice, and feedback, those are essential for progress.
Yeah, I like that. It makes it feel, I don't know, more attainable
Yeah.
in a way. Even if the fifth level itself, still seems pretty far out.
Sure, of course. And remember, it's a continuous journey.
Right.
There's always more to learn,
Mm-hmm.
even at the highest levels.
Right. Okay. So we've talked about the physical and mental aspects of this
Yep.
level, but both sources really emphasize the internal transformation that takes place.
Hmm.
And, they use phrases like uh, changes between the real and the fake inside, which cannot be seen from the outside. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think on the surface you have like the external skills,
Hmm.
the punches, the kicks, the blocks. But underneath, there's this deeper level of coordination happening.
Yep.
The mind, body, and spirit, they become aligned, working in harmony. And it's this internal alignment that ultimately allows for that effortless power we've been talking about.
So it's almost like the most powerful changes are like invisible to like the
Yes.
naked eye.
It's like an iceberg,
Oh,
right?
I like that.
The most powerful part is hidden beneath the surface.
I love that. Now, we got that message from a listener asking, what level am I at in my journey? And, really got me thinking, like, it doesn't have to be about Kung Fu specifically.
No, not at all.
Like,
It's a
yeah.
question we can all ask ourselves,
Yeah,
no matter what path we're on.
exactly.
What skills are we developing? What internal transformations are we striving for?
And maybe, I don't know, maybe the journey itself is more important than reaching any specific destination.
Yeah, that's a powerful thought.
Right. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I I'm left with, I don't know, a sense of awe, I guess, at the depth and complexity of like these ancient practices,
Hmm.
but also with like a renewed sense of possibility.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that true mastery, whether it's martial arts or, life in general, it's about more than just external skills.
Yeah, you got it.
It's about cultivating that internal harmony, that effortless power that comes from aligning mind, body, and spirit.
And just like the source says, scientific development is endless, and so is the practice of Tai Chi. It's a continuous journey
Yeah.
of learning, growing, and refining.
So I guess the question to leave everyone with is, what level are you at in your journey? And what will you do today to maybe move a little bit closer to that ethereal level
Yeah.
of mastery? Something to ponder. Until next time, keep exploring.